The purpose of this presentation is to discuss acceptable use policies at Oakland Terrace Elementary School, located in Montgomery County Public Schools. An acceptable use policy is a document that provides specific requirements about appropriate practices and constraints. It encourages responsible, ethical, and legal actions when entering a network or website, ensures safety and appropriate access to material, and in addition, violations of accepted use policies, it can result in specific consequences for actions. Oakland Terrace Elementary School follows Montgomery County Public Schools District Acceptable Use Policy for both staff and students. The document is organized using the following headings: Purpose, which is to ensure security, address appropriate uses of computer systems, promote intellectual development while accessing technology, and ensure compliance with the law for both staff and students. There's also a section that gives background of the document, definitions, providing meanings for words that are used throughout the document, and procedures for staff and students to follow related to electronic data and information security, electronic transactions and signatures, physical security, systems and applications security, network security, conduct and use, and finally a section on noncompliance, which includes consequences if the above procedures are not met. The Montgomery County Public Schools Acceptable Use Policy can be found on the MCPS website if a user searches for user responsibilities for computer systems, electronic information, and network security. While there is an acceptable use policy for both students and staff, Montgomery County Public Schools also offers a student-specific acceptable use policy, which can also be found on the MCPS website if searched student user responsibilities for computer systems, electronic information, and network security. This is a document that's specific for students, which is an extension of the accepted use policy for staff and students. It includes regulations for internet use, information about cyberbullying and electronic harassment, network security, conduct and use, including prohibited network use, and a section on noncompliance and infraction. While Oakland Terrace Elementary School adheres to both of the Montgomery County Public Schools accepted use policy, in addition, they use a Chromebook and Google Education Oakland Terrace Student Expectations Acceptable Use Policy that was created by Oakland Terrace Elementary School. This document is located on the Oakland Terrace Elementary School website under the heading For Parents, Creating 21st Century Learning Spaces, a Guide to MCPS Strategic Technology Plan. This document includes general information about the Chromebooks and technology use in the classroom, information about student email accounts, guidelines for using the Google apps in the Chromebook, Chromebook Care, which includes information about physically caring for the technology, and consequences if the guidelines are not met, as well as a section for students and parents to sign the document. Communicating the acceptable use policies to staff, students, and parents is extremely important. Printed copies should be provided to all staff, students, and parents at the beginning of the school year. Although these documents are located online, it's important for students, parents, and staff to have these documents in hand for easier access. The policy should also be discussed during pre-service week before school starts or during a monthly staff meeting, so all staff is receiving a consistent message. In addition, teachers should discuss the policies at back-to-school night with their parents and summarize the information for students by having discussions about the policies within the classroom. Strategies for implementing the acceptable use policy in the classroom. It's important for teachers to post technology rules and expectations in the classroom, somewhere where it's visible for students to see while they're accessing the technology. Teachers should also have lessons about digital citizenship, as well as discuss internet safety, including scenarios that may happen when students are using the computers. In addition, teachers should review the consequences with students and what would specifically happen if certain actions weren't followed. As well, teachers can use educational platforms such as Google Classroom in order to monitor students' website use on the computer. So in this situation, a teacher would send a link to a student, so they would be monitoring where students are going on the computer. And finally, teachers can consider using mobile device management systems, which allow them to monitor student access across several devices. Strategies for implementing teacher acceptable use policies. Teachers should use technology in the classroom for educational purposes only, meaning that teachers should avoid the use of technology for personal reasons while at school. Teachers should also request support from technology specialists or administrators when they're unsure if the policies are being met. So if teachers have questions about their actions and whether or not they meet the acceptable use policy guidelines, they should definitely seek support in this area. Teachers can also encourage their colleagues to follow the guidelines by reminding their colleagues about the acceptable use policy guidelines. And finally, teachers should always model appropriate use of technology at all times, not only for students in the classroom, but also for colleagues to see that you take the acceptable use policies seriously. And here's a list of references used for this presentation. Thank you.